going. But I think people are too anxious to jump on the AI bandwagon without really thinking this through and really thinking how this is going to impact people and their quality of life. And we had a same incident in a little town. See if I can find it here. It was in a town called Peculiar, Missouri. You can look that up. It was by a company called Dio Adventures. And they went through the same thing as we're going through right now. They tried to influence the mayor and the town council to influence the residents to change their mind. What happened was the whole town ended up bickering, and it went on for quite a while. And I guess when they decided to do a vote, they decided to vote in favor of not having it. Some of the residents that lived there went to other facilities, like Iowa, and I can't remember what the other one was, and they said they were just terrified with what they saw. So I think if you're going to do this, you know, buyer beware, careful what you wish for.
No, thank you folks like this. I mean, the zoning, I think you guys. Yeah.
Okay. Just giving you the option.
Like, yeah.
I'm Sarah Marie Flood. I'm a Harwood resident. And I'm just curious, have any kind of use study been conducted to determine what the actual impact will be to not only water and electricity like been mentioned, but also the roads, the sewer, the garbage, all of it. The Senate station that we can hardly do gas at now. Yeah. No, I was.
Right.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. I was at the town hall meeting. A lot of that was mentioned there.
Okay.
That they will be taking care of any roads that go to their facility that get wrecked by trucks and someplace, that they would take care of that. They have to pay for any of the infrastructure for the electricity and anything that comes in. And Cass County was here, Cass County Electric, and
I was at the meeting.
they went over how they can provide all the services to them. So.
Right, I was just wondering if any official use analysis have been done, or it's all just, oh, we'll take care of it as it comes out.
Thank you for speaking on that. A lot of those issues will actually be addressed at the city council meeting in an hour or so, so I'm waiting for you to stick around for that if you can. Any other residents of Harwood? Either one.
First.
Darlene?
My name is Darlene Meyer. I'm a resident of Harwood, and I think like most Harwood residents, when I heard this on the nightly news, I thought, oh my God, what are we getting into? And I thought it swept under the rug, nobody heard about it. I was at a city council meeting and it wasn't mentioned. And so I kind of felt a lot in that direction. I have done a lot of reading. I have talked to council members. I talked to the mayor a little bit, and I have totally kind of changed my perspective on the whole thing. I understand that the mayor and I know the councilman went to Ellendale. They talked with the Ellendale mayor, and he is here tonight, thank goodness, and I think we'll probably hear from him. But as I learned more about this, and AI scares me, but there's nothing we're going to do about it. It is the fact of the future. And the land that is being annexed or looked at being used is Harwood territorial, which we have control of right now. Fargo's at our doorstep, and if we don't take advantage of it, if Fargo gets it, we have the plant, we have the noise, we have everything except any of the benefits that the plant will give us. So I think we really have to have an open mind because AI is not going away. These plants are being built all over the United States. And no matter what, there's going to be pros and there's going to be cons, and I think you need to look at both of them and which side. I think right now, probably in my opinion, the pros outdo the cons. And I think the worst thing that could happen to us is that land and that plant goes to the city of Fargo and we end up with nothing except the conflict, whatever happens with the plant. I went out to the Ellendale site. I got a lot of comments from the residents, tried to get more information. And a lot of them had complaints, but they complained about AI. I didn't see them reading about complaints about the plant. They were talking about disrupting a small community, but it's going to help them grow. The tax benefit and that type of thing. I have 100% faith in Cass County Electric. I think they are a fantastic co-op. I have 100% faith in them that they know what they're doing, if they can support this. I believe in what they're saying. Also, the water situation. I hear these plants take a tremendous amount of water, but I'm also hearing now they have a way to recycle that water. They're going to use real water. And that they can recycle it and would use the same amount of water as a normal household would. So there are a lot of things that I think we just can't slam the door on AI and say, no, it's not for us, we can't do it. Fargo doesn't have the growth capacity for housing, so the employees are going to have to probably live in Fargo. Am I done? One quick comment, I'm sorry. I didn't think I'd talk this long. But I think this is the biggest decision Sony makes. I think it's the biggest decision the council members of Harwood is going to make probably in the history of Harwood. So I give you credit. Thank you.
Security sources. Why? We haven't sent that. That was such they call me. We're just was dealing with law agencies.
For that.
Was that he but we didn't say one was about his faults. When I told you, like investor, that's what our landing was only is here for.
That was in comic.
That he better strike down so I can help it. Gone off. You look ridiculous. Get everything they want. Great. Unless what's done. Yes, to do what we're here for.
Depends on the case, but yes, the real issue is the rezone.
Yeah.
So like, so speaking, making the American
Copper. But yes,
because they haven't been able to say what
certainly you know. Yeah. Right now we're just getting a process thing, so I thought that there was a copy.
and the auditor. I was thinking they can give you a
We have a lot of those.
yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. My name is Darrell Grover, and
The good and the fire.
and I wrote here most of that. This is about zoning and framing question. I have noticed that Harvard seems kind of hodgepodge together on our ideas of we have a construction company, right, we build residential, and it kind of seems like, well, this seems to work as it. My house situated itself to see this new development happening if it goes to the site over here. And it's very rare that you have something that affects you environmentally and also like personally. I have my own very deep thoughts on AI itself. But I'm kind of opposed to doing everything I am. But when it comes to planning and zoning, do we have an idea of like how much agricultural food in the next 25 years this one field could produce or biodiesel in order to change it to industrial? And if we have a plan, I would like to know what kind of, I guess, vibe or strategic plan that Harwood has to move forward. Because if we make this light industrial, and it's on the tail end of all of these other industrial and like the industrial zone coming this way, then the next field isn't going to be residential. Once the reg is done, it's going to be another industrial. So how far are we letting this go? And what are our strategic plans as Harwood to growth? And what's thought on that I haven't heard anything on, and my ignorance of not going through 5 years of the mean limit. But if we don't have a strong idea about where we place this, because I've known from last meeting that yes, it is in box, the land, we're just going to rezone it between these two sites. The idea of which site or how it's moving forward, how is Harwood planning on growing, and where is community input on that? And what kind of city is Harwood wants to be? And that is my concern, because honestly, my selfish part is also, that's in front of my house. Like literally 20 feet away. If this one built, this field gets built, then this one's going to be like a big, I don't know, nice per diem, Amazon eating, and I just want to go, because I have to think generational, because I'm second generation at my space. So in my brain, automatically goes to how far, in what year are we planning these things? And we need an idea that's not just cobbled together zones. And I'd like to see what that is, and you can speak to that, because if we change one here, it's going to affect the next domino of the structure showing up.
Mark, work up things.
Jamie, Mark Kirkley, 38-year Harwood resident. I live right over in the triangle here. Probably my property's a mile from the corner of this proposed facility. I came in like others, not knowing anything. A week and a half ago, I came to the meeting last week, got my concerns answered. I have no problem with this. I've done a lot of research since, trying to figure out and keeping the whole AI thing out of it, which I also don't understand. But one thing I do understand is I've been assured that we're not going to have a shortage of power. Harwood Water isn't even involved. Disposal system is not a water pig. They're going to truck in all the water and will be there forever. The noise issue doesn't concern me. The 40 dB at a half mile is nothing. But, 99% of us aren't going to be within a half mile of that. There's more noise that comes off this interstate behind us, way more than is going to come off this facility. So I'd urge the committee to go ahead, annex the land, and take care of whatever zoning we have to do so that Harwood can reap these benefits versus our neighbors to the south. Thank you.
Opposed to it.
11 minutes to go. There went out like about. Once you split. Yeah.
And Nate Schleicher, Harwood resident for 1 year. Brand new here, loving it. Moved here because of the quiet, excited about the idea and prospect of what is to come with the new facility. Just curious about the new, and I did not get a chance to attend the last meeting. Well, so far there was 3 months. So we're back with grammar again. So question is, what's the pitch, what is the pitch of the sound? I live directly across the train tracks, 2 houses down, half block in Town Hall. Train causes noise, the highway causes noise. But what is the pitch of the sound that comes? Is it intermittent, just constant? Just trying to understand that a little bit.
You think it's mine? You got me. The mine.
So Nick can give you the exact, Nick will give you the exact decibel pitch level, but
just so you have an idea of what is making sound on the site, it's larger size heat pumps. So the heat pump you got outside your house to make sure it's HVAC, the fan inside that heat pump, that's the primary source of noise on the site. Just at a larger scale, but it's going to be the same noise that you would get from the heat pump outside your house.
Yeah, so I'll stand up. So basically, these are big precast concrete buildings, and so they've been, thick. I don't know what the group or something like that. 8 inches thick concrete walls. So none of the noise from the machines themselves you get out of the building. The only thing to make noise are what he described, they're like heat pumps. The nice thing about those is that when it's colder outside, you don't have to run fans and things so much with it because the cold outside is just enough, right? So as the volume in the winter is less, right? There's not as much animals, there's not as much, things going on around outside. Our facility also becomes quieter because there's less heat and it's easier to get rid of the heat, right?
Second, Ian, you get, that have,
I would like to know what. Yeah.
It's 40 decibels.
So
at 3.6, we'll see if we can get that information before the next one. Anyone else from Harwood? As we're trying to keep this a little bit. AJ.
I'm Alicia Gretza, 20 years on the lease at Harwood, and this is not my comfort zone, so share with me. I'm just speaking to you guys because I've lived here a long time, and things don't happen overnight. You know that. I just think of the development of Christ in the church has taken a very long time to go through. Gaining a development that's taken a long time just feels too fast. It feels like really quick and not the watered wand. I just would like you guys to just pause maybe and think on it. Maybe this is going to be a good thing for us. I don't know. But I think you just need to take a breath and show up for a little bit because I think it's being pushed way too fast.
Any other residents? We probably have time for 2 or 3 more.
My name is Eric Sinner. I live in Harwood. 10 years. Which one's Mary Hinkie? Here?
This is planning and zoning.
Okay. So my question is what's going to happen to the traffic corridor through here? So are we going to annex the 5 properties on the north side of County 6, make it a 4-lane? What's going to happen at shift change when we got a slow zone, a 5-zone railroad coming through? Why can't this be built? There's no talk about why it can't be built west of town. What are the reasons why it can't be west of town, 3 miles? I don't think I even have to look. Raise your hands who's in favor. Raise your hand who's not in favor. Take a serious consideration.
It's not.
Swords, I've lived in Harwood for 18 years. I have more questions and statements as a concern the city council meeting potentially coming up. I understand that it's also going to have a great session. Yes. All right. Thank you. With regards to planning and zoning and the lack of other documentation given to the public about what this facility has coming into it, I'm just wondering what's been basing your rezoning decisions on, exception have they provided any valid documentation about what this facility is bringing to our area? On August 25th, it was discussed that this facility uses millions of gallons of water, but not like on a continual basis, but it will house millions of gallons of water for it to be cooled with the glycol water solution. Now, I don't I'm no architect or anything like that either, but the facility and footprint of this building doesn't seem like it's capable of storing that type of quantity of water within it. What I did notice in the renders of this facility is there's these three large, massive concrete reinforced retaining ponds, and I'm wondering if that solution of water glycolments is actually going to be housed externally, or is there any risk of contamination to that water supply, because the location at which this is being built is actually well within the 1,500 or 2,500 feet to that natural little creek that then just down here, and that flows directly into the Red River's water supply. So I'm just wondering if any consideration has been with that. Also, in the event of the catastrophe for a facility this size, they operate off a large injected lithium-ion batteries to make sure that these facilities stay operational if there's any kind of power outage or anything like that. In the event of an emergency, if those should catch on fire or whatever, you basically have to let that go. Is the area emergency services capable of handling the impact of such a severe threat to the community? I mean, we're talking about people's lives and well-being. That's all stuff that needs to be taken into consideration when building a size facility of this magnitude. Further, there's a contingent of generators that are going to be going up in this facility. And I talked with North Dakota Environmental Protection Air Quality Division. They're currently working on the permitting and as they of a generator bank of some 60 or so generators. Now, they don't know how to do that in North Dakota yet because they never had to deal with anything of that size or magnitude. So they're currently working through that process. However, the same individual that I did speak with said that they're contingent of what you're talking about building in Harwood. You're looking at something the size of 100 to 3,000 kilowatt diesel generators. Now, his words, not mine. He told me when those generators take on in the event of a power failure, I'm talking fast, about all at the same time. That is not that is something that the Harwood residents are not only going to hear, they're going to smell it, and they're going to feel it in their homes only a mile and a half away. And that's his words, not mine. Thank you.
If looks like Applied Digital is willing to answer those questions unless there's a resident who wants to use the last two. Mr. Judson. Get to know me.
So my name is Nick Shopsky. I grew up in North Dakota, grew up in Harwood. I've lived here for 18 years, so I'm not the best time. But I love Harwood. And the only thing Harwood would regrets not building this. I think the only regret Harwood's bad is wrong building this. I grew up playing outside all the time. I grew up with asthma, diesel generators, particulate matter. And I don't know how I'd be doing health-wise. I was playing outside all that time. Sorry, I didn't think I was going to choke up like this. But just think about the community. Be the voices for the people that live here, and their kids, for their kids. So just consider all that in this. Thank you.
Okay, so with what we're doing here right now is just a recommendation to City Council. Like a lot of your questions that were asked tonight will actually probably be answered at the City Council meeting that'll be coming up after this. The Applied Digital people will be at that meeting also. I can answer a lot more of those questions. I know they have a presentation I believe to go over at the council meeting. This is just for the land use part. Some of the building and stuff like that is being approved at this time on this group. Just to clarify a few of those things for you.
Is it the property that's right down here that we're being voted on, or also the other proposed?
Please.
Yeah, he'll show you on the map if you were.
It's these two quarters that's with it. It's just these two quarters, right? Nothing else.
Where are we?
Where are we actually?
So if I may, I'll answer that question real quick. Just in case for those of you who don't know, my name is Jamie Dedham, I'm on City Council. Your question is whether it's just on the reuse of the property that is down by Harwood Baseball Diamond Complex. It is. It is just on that area. Harwood has no jurisdiction when we go out west.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, that answers your question.
Me?
Yeah.
Look at the test.
It's the part.
So, with all of that being said, does anybody on planning and zoning maybe want to make a recommendation?
So I just want to explain so everybody understands. So they can make a recommendation, then when it gets to city council, they will hear what their recommendation was. If city council approves the first reading of rezoning this to industrial, it's the first reading. They could approve a building permit contingent on the zoning getting a second reading. That doesn't mean that it's going to go that way. We don't know yet. So tonight is not a gavel drop that this is a yes or a no. This is a decision recommendation, and then it goes to city council. So please don't think that tonight is just a final thing. It's not. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure you understand that that's what it is.
Does anybody up here have something you guys want to say about it, or?
So, what is the current?
Keep the thought going.
People.
For those who didn't hear, the question was, what is the current zoning? And it is agricultural.
Yep, one recommend two.
So after hearing how
One recommend two change.
So after hearing how everybody feels, what is your recommendation?
That's what they're discussing.
We're voting on that now. Okay, on a cigarette.
I also am in favor of the zoning change to light industrial for this particular property.
So you don't care how everybody feels?
You had your chance to come up here and talk. Now it's time to be quiet, let the rest of the group make this change. As somebody that also lives over in the Triangle area that the member spoke about, it will be affecting my house and everything else too, but I also feel that it's a good change for Harwood. So I've been voting in favor of it.
I honestly think that if I'm voting in favor, I honestly think that if we don't, our goal is, yeah, we are gonna be stuck with the same problems and not gonna die about it.
How the third option is on building?
Yeah. Yeah.
With that being said, the recommendation has been made. City Council,
Hey,
the recommendation is being made to City Council to approve this project and to change the zoning. Or to change the zoning.
Show us your NDAs, cowards.
I don't have an NDA. I've never
City
signed
council
one.
does.
So, with that being said, we'll close this meeting. Meeting will be adjourned, and we will go back to City Hall to start